Assalamu alaikum. In this video, I will demonstrate how to print the humidity and temperature in Arduino code. So to do that, first of all, we need to include DHT library in our code, which we did here using the include dht.h line. And after including DHT library, we have to define our DHT pin as 2, because in this case, the DHT pin 2 will be connected to the sensor. After that, we need to define our DHT type, which for this case will also be DHT11. And after including and defining all the pins and types, we need to make our sensor start. So for that, we will call this method, and after that we will print our first serial statement, which is DHT final, and we will use DHT begin method. After we do that, we need to read the temperature and humidity from our sensors too. So for that, we are using our read humidity and read temperature methods here. And in this case, we are measuring temperature between Celsius and Fahrenheit scales. And here, as you can see, we are using a delay 500 method. That is because reading a value from the sensor can take about 250 milliseconds. So we are giving an delay between the readings so that we get all the values properly. And after that, if any of the values are not read properly, we will check that, and we will again read the value properly. And after reading the humidity and temperature value from the sensor, all we need to do is to compute the heat index. And after computing the heat index, we will just print the temperature and humidity using the serial.println method. And after that, we will get our desired output. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Rasul Covid News. I will be presenting the circuit of data logger system using Proteus. So for building the circuit, we have to select four major components. One of them is Arduino Uno, another one is Compip, another one is DHT11, another one is a single register. So I have selected them by using this P button up here. Here we can pick devices. So I have searched the name and selected the components. So now let's place these components here in the circuit. First, I am selecting Arduino Uno. Later on, we are selecting the Compip and DHT11 and a single register. So we will have to select another device, which is a virtual instrument, which is named virtual terminal, so that we can see our output. So now let's place it here. So we have selected all the devices and placed it here. Now we will have to connect them. So first let's connect the DHT11. So we will have to connect the data pin of the DHT11 with the second pin of the Arduino. Later on, we will have to select the power and the ground from the terminals so that we can connect the VDD pin of the DHT with the power source and the ground pin of the DHT11 with the ground source. So later on, we will also have to connect the resistor. We will have to connect the RXD with the TXT pin, which is pin number 1 of the Arduino. Later on, for the COM pin, we'll have to connect the RXD with the RXD and the TXD with the TXD. Now we will have to upload the hex file. The circuit is fully complete. So yes, here we can see a virtual terminal. The value of the temperature and the humidity is shown here. So the humidity is selected. Now let's click on it, make it 85. So yes, you can see the value has changed. It is now 27 and 85. Later on, we can select the temperature also, and for this one, let's decrease it. We're decreasing it to 20. So here we can see the value is now 85 and 20. So vice versa, we can increase or decrease the values by using these buttons and adjust it to our preference. So that's it from me. Thank you, everyone.
Assalamu alaikum, this is Akik, and I'm going to show how I made the user interface part of our project using LabVIEW. So first I add the thermometer, then the meter for humidity, then I add two wave charts, then I add the table with necessary headings, and which will contain the data of temperature and humidity. Then at the backend, I subsequently add clear buffer open to red, flash buffer close, and at last I add the error command. And after that, I give a while loop here, put it in the middle. Then I connect the wires. The last connection, as you can see, has been made to the byte count. Then I add the VSA resource for compute and add a time delay of 500 milliseconds. Then I add toString toNumber function, and I add local variable for the table. And after that, insert into array, then shift registers, and now I added join string constant and array constant and are connecting the wires. I made all the connections here, making necessary rearrangements for the sensors and wave checks. Then I brought an build array, and I added the time and converted it into string and added it with the build array. And I'm making more necessary connections. Then I expanded the build array and adding the IDs of my teammates. This is how I made the back panel. And when I start the simulation, as we can see, there is no error and it's working perfectly. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, I am Sakib Anuran, and now I will connect the LabVIEW file and the Proteus file. At first, what I will do is I will pair two ports. Here I am using COM3 and COM4. Wait, now it's done. And now I will open both of the projects and keep it side by side. Now I will use COM3 port here and COM4 port in the Proteus file. Here I will make sure it's 9600. Okay. And if I run the both of the projects, you can see it's working. There's some changes in the graph. Now here the humidity has reached the upper limit. I can change it to 100, and now you can see the actual humidity here and the temperature in the thermometer. Here the temperature is 30 degree, here it's 30 degree, and the humidity is 77, and it's nearly 77 here. We can see the same values in the graph too. And if I make some changes, like if I decrease the humidity to 70, we can see there's some change in the graph and also in the meter. And if I increase the temperature a little bit, you can see there's some changes in the graph and also in the thermometer. Here are all the data. It's refreshing 2 times every second. So this is our task. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.